of the top 25 teams in NBA history in three-pointers attempted per game, because I say number 2, what he's going to bring to the second thing he's going to bring to this team is flat out shooting more three-pointers. Flat out shooting more threes to survive in the modern NBA, the three-point era. You just flat out have to shoot threes. You have to. Of the top 25 teams in NBA history in three-point attempts per game, Mike D'Antoni was a head coach of 4 of them and an assistant on 1. Maybe he ran that a little bit too far, trading Clint Capella and playing Robert Covington at center down in Houston and just trying to shoot as many threes per game as possible. Maybe he took it too far, you know? Maybe you got to find a little bit of a balance, right? Budenholzer was the coach of 4 of them. Hey, look, he has a championship. He said, put Giannis in the middle, give me guys on the perimeter that can dribble and shoot, and I'll go make it happen. And Nick Nurse was the head coach of 1 of them without a player like that in the paint. So what can Nick Nurse do with Joel Embiid in the paint? I'm excited. The highest Glenn Rivers coach team was 82nd. So there's that. Nick Nurse is going to flat out 100% shoot more threes. Now look at this. Nick Nurse, coaching career. Where are we at here? I want to see when he came up to the NBA. In July 2013, Nick Nurse departed the Vipers for an assistant job on the coaching staff of the Toronto Raptors. He was in charge of the offense during his time under Casey. And in the 17-18 season, he was credited for the changes to the Raptors' offensive game plan, which included increases in passing and three-point attempts. Now, come on, all the people telling me this is Doc Rivers 2.0 and he has no offensive philosophy. He was in charge of the offense during his time under Casey, and in the 2017-18 season, he was credited for the changes to the Raptors' offensive game plan, which increased passing and three-point attempts. The improved offense helped the Raptors win a franchise record 59 games, but the team was swept in the second round by the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, what can you do? And Casey was fired shortly thereafter. On June 2018, the Raptors promoted Nurse to the position of head coach. In his first season, he guided the Raptors to a 58-24 record. Of course, he had Kawhi Leonard. So here's where we go with this, you know? There's this balance. Is it the coach? Is it the roster? Right? Toronto Raptors. Nick Nurse was the assistant coach who was in charge of the offense. They had the second highest offensive rating in the entire NBA. And, that was without Kawhi Leonard. And if you look at the team ranks here, look. They were 3rd in field goals made. They were 6th in field goals attempted. They were 7th in field goal percentage. They were 4th in three-pointers made. They were 3rd in three-pointers attempted. It just tells me flat out Nick Nurse offensively is focused on running and shooting, being a fast-paced team that gets off three-point attempts. 18-19, when he won the championship with Kawhi Leonard, they were 5th. So, and field goals attempted, they were 16th, which tells you, hey, look, you had Kawhi. You're going to run a little bit more ISO. You're going to run a little bit more one-on-one, half-court offense. Game's going to slow down a little bit. Still had them 5th in the league in offensive rating and won a championship. 19-20. As soon as Kawhi leaves, Kyle Lowry leaves, etc. Although Kyle Lowry was still there in 20. They went to 14th. Kyle Lowry leaves. And they go back to 16th. And my point here is, everybody wants to say when a coach doesn't get it done, but there's just a balance, bro. Like, every coach needs a championship roster. Was this a championship roster? DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Jonas Valanciunas, DeLon Wright, Pascal Siakam, rookie Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet coming off the bench. It was a decent roster, right? The championship roster. Look at this roster. Kyle Lowry in his prime. Kawhi Leonard in his prime. Second year, Pascal Siakam. Was it second year or third year? I don't remember. Either way, Pascal Siakam as the number 3. They had Danny Green out here still launching threes at 45.5%. Fred VanVleet coming off the bench shooting to 38% from 3. Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka. This was a championship roster. And Nick Nurse took that championship level roster and went and won a championship with it. The easiest way to say this is that what did we have before this? A coach who had multiple stacked rosters. Boston in 2009. He should have had more than one championship with that Boston team. The Clippers team should have had a championship with that team. The Sixers team, should he have had a championship? I don't know. But it seems like Doc Rivers has had many chances, many championship level rosters, and choked and choked and choked and choked and choked. Nick Nurse had one championship level roster and went and won a championship.